Hallo Freunde und willkommen zurück zu Marvels Midnight Suns und willkommen zur ersten der Sonderfolgen. In dieser Folge werden wir uns vor allem auf die Social Clubs, nenne ich es jetzt mal, konzentrieren, sprich E.M.O Kids, Buchclub und Workshop. Da habt ihr ja zwischen 1 und 2, glaube ich, sind es Szenen nicht mehr gesehen oder noch nicht gesehen, die folgen jetzt. Und anschließend werden wir noch die einzelnen Abhängensequenzen uns angucken, die ich auch nicht in die normalen Folgen reingepackt habe, einfach weil ich die ein bisschen entschlacken wollte. Und das hätte ich vielleicht von Anfang an machen sollen, aber naja, hinterher ist man immer schlauer. Die nächste Folge am Montag wird dann vor allem auf die zwischenmenschlichen Sequenzen abzielen, sprich die ganzen Freundschaftslevel, die wir mit den Leuten gemacht haben, also die ganzen Sequenzen dazu. Und in der letzten Folge dann am nächsten Mittwoch, nicht Donnerstag, kümmern wir uns um die legendären Challenges und gucken uns auch die ganzen Karten da entsprechend nochmal an. Ich werde hier zwischen den Sequenzen auch in den nächsten Folgen immer mal kurz Schwarzblenden einfügen. Einfach, dass man nicht so Sequenz 1 endet und manchmal habe ich den Cut eigentlich fast direkt gemacht. Und dann startet direkt das nächste, das halt einfach ein bisschen einmal kurzes Luftholen dazwischen gibt. Und ja, dann würde ich sagen, noch kurz zu dem, was ihr gerade im Hintergrund seht. Ich öffne hier gerade die ganzen Packs, wo ich vor allem nach Hulk-Karten suche, da wir nicht mit einem Standard-Hulk-Deck spielen wollen, auch wenn der Hulk die wenigsten Karten im Spiel hat. Aber dabei sind wir nicht gerade, also wir haben nicht gerade viel Glück. Was ich damit meine, da gehe ich dann nochmal in der dritten Folge kurz drauf ein.
About the E.M.O kids meeting, there's a problem. Wanda asked to run the show. Everyone was fine with it until Caretaker showed up.
Sarah taking control. How surprising.
I don't blame her. Wanda's magic killed Agatha. It's hard to let that go.
Why are we meeting? I thought we already knew how I died.
Wanda doesn't think we do, and I believe her. So, you ready to head to the meeting and hear her out?
Lead the way.
This was a mistake. I shouldn't have brought it up.
I disagree. Your theory is sound. We must know the truth.
Wanda already took Agatha from me. I'll be damned if I let her take my child.
The one standing behind you?
Ah, damn it. I didn't mean for you to hear that.
I understand why you said it. What is this about?
It's not worth your time to know.
Please, tell me.
Wanda says there's more to your death than what we saw. She claims she can reveal the true manner of your death.
I cannot hurt to try her suggestion.
It absolutely can. Her magic is chaotic. She could lose control and kill everyone.
Good thing you were here to help her.
Help her? After what she did?
Who better than you?
All right. Listen to her if you must. But if you proceed with the ritual, I can't lose you, Hunter. Not again.
No, do not fret about Wanda. She knows what she is doing. Sarah worries too much.
I have no concerns with Wanda leading the ritual.
Good. And I'm glad she will hear that from you.
What are your thoughts on Ms. Maximoff leading this meeting?
She needs to learn she's capable of this.
But shouldn't the goal be the results, not self-actualization?
Why can't we have both?
Perhaps. If you're all right with proceeding, then so am I.
I guess that could have gone worse. Looks like Sarah has settled down. Wanted to call this meeting, so let her know when you're ready.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I just wanted to help.
How?
I spoke with Dr. Strange about your visions. That got me thinking. The last meeting, specifically the moment of your death, I don't think that's where your life ended.
The last time we did this, something felt off.
Good, you felt it too. There is a subtle magic at play. It clouds your perception, distracts from what is real.
Why are you so certain?
I felt it twice before. Most recently, when I was under Lilith's influence.
And the first time?
When I killed Agatha. I had no warning I'd lost control until it was over. Something masked the danger from me, from her.
It was not your fault.
No matter what Ileana wants to believe, I am responsible for Agatha's death. I can never make it up to the Midnight Suns, to Sarah, to you. But I will do everything I can to make things right. My magic works by creating what I most desire. It can also strip what is illusion from what is real. You deserve to know what truly happened. Please, allow me to help you.
I am ready to proceed.
All right. What is your last memory before your death?
Lilith trapped me with the Darkhold. I could not move.
Then I shall remove the veil. And now, your death revealed. What do you see?
Lilith approaches. I have never seen her so determined.
And now, child, you shall be free.
Still creepy.
Indeed.
I cannot move, yet I hear myself shout.
What the?
My body lurches toward her. None of it my doing. Lilith struggles against her own limbs, but cannot control them. My hand reaches for the Darkhold. I see fear blossom in my mother's eyes. I touch the Darkhold.
No! Stay
Pain
back!
washes over us both. The world flares white. And then, there is nothing.
Dieses dämliche Buch.
Okay, what is with that voice?
And who directed the hunter's movements?
Someone who could hold Lilith in place.
That's alarming.
I'm sorry. There's nothing more. That's when the hunter died.
Don't apologize. You showed us what we could not see.
Another mystery resolved. No more reason to assemble the E.M.O kids.
You sound disappointed.
I am, somewhat. This kept me distracted from the state of the Sanctum Sanctorum. Reminded me I could still be useful. Perhaps that is the lesson.
You see? Now you know.
What we know is disturbing.
Truth is often disturbing. We both learned that lesson years ago.
What we just saw, it's difficult to comprehend. I know I have questions. But what about you?
No one else was present when I faced Lilith. Whose voice did we hear?
No one I recognize. If Lilith had just recovered the Darkhold, she may have used it to summon a dark spirit.
If she did, it seems like she lost control.
Perhaps. I pray it was just that.
Could it have been Chthon?
Speaking through the Darkhold? Perhaps. But why draw you towards the book? What was there to gain?
I'm still unclear on how I actually died.
The magic of the blood courses through you and your mother when you both touched the Darkhold.
Mystical feedback?
That's my theory. It's a dangerous book, perhaps more so than we thought.
I should get going.
Very well. Good night, kiddo.
Yes?
I'm proud of you for pushing through all this.
Thanks.
Well, good night.
Are you all right? How do you feel?
Physically, I am fine.
Good. How about what you saw?
This is the first time it all rings true.
Truth can be messy. It's why a false reality is so alluring. What we saw tonight did happen. You both died with your hands on the Darkhold.
What does that tell us?
I'm not sure yet. Perhaps it will give us an edge in our fight, or insight into something we've missed.
More unanswered questions.
That's not it. We have all the answers to your death. What we're missing are the questions that match.
Die Antworten haben wir sowieso. 42.
Thank you for trusting me to do this.
Of course.
It means more than you know.
I don't know what to think. Was someone else there and did they kill Lilith?
Those are difficult questions to answer.
At least we know to ask them. Hey, we'll get to the bottom of this. We're emo kids. We can do anything. I think that's it. You leaving?
Oh.
That is it for me.
The last meeting of emo kids. Should we get another t-shirt? I kind of want another t-shirt. Or, ooh, maybe a pin. I'll figure it out. Thanks for letting us root around in your past, Hunter.
Immer wieder gerne. So, Gedankenbeuger. Ziel auf einen Gegner, ergreift seinen nächsten Verbündeten an. Super nützliche Karte. Aber leider eine dunkle Karte, deshalb werden wir sie nicht benutzen. Eine epische von Wanda mit dem Chaosfeld. Für 2 Züge erhalten Verbündete in der Nähe von Wanda am Ende des Zuges eine Resistenz. Sehr nützlich. Und Chaos regiert. Wähle ein Gebiet. Gegner innerhalb des Gebiets greifen einander an. Auch sehr nützlich. Und ja, ich werde das Chaos regiert nehmen. Weil ich die Karte für sinnvoller erachte, gerade wenn wir eine große Gruppe an Dingens haben. An Minions.
Parker, don't joke about
What's shaking, Bacon?
Werkunterricht.
We're supposed to have shop class tonight, but Tony really got under his skin. I've never seen him this mad. Can you help me talk him down?
Lead the way.
Thanks, Hunter.
You've gone too far, Tony.
Explain how replacing outdated equipment is a problem.
You moved my car.
It was in the way, and I moved it back.
Crap.
All this flashy junk isn't why I'm here. Why any of the rest of us are here.
Well, I'm here to make progress. If you aren't, then get out of the way.
Never meet your heroes. I get it now. I don't know why I thought you could change.
Jetzt hat er es verkackt.
Hunter, I need a few minutes to myself.
Take your time. I am around if you want to talk.
Thanks. Robbie just needs a little space. Let's get started. We don't have much on this saber-tooth guy, but we know he's incredibly dangerous. He's also somewhat predictable.
In what way?
When it comes to a fight, he's extremely aggressive. Our ideas take advantage of that.
What have you cooked up?
The initial prototype uses a tailored pheromone to keep him away. It provokes an intense revulsion we hope will blunt his attacks.
Like a foul scent used to keep animals at bay?
Well put. Our other prototype is... well, we kept it simple. It's part sedative and part itching powder.
To trip him up with a thorn in his paw.
A very distracting thorn at that. Thanks for getting me those components. We're good to go. Time to... Tony, what's up?
I think your gearhead pal is still wound up.
Okay. Hunter, give me a minute. I want to make sure Robbie's okay.
Take your time. I'll assemble the prototype for the Hunter.
Oh, I'd prefer to hold off. There are some details I want to go over before we begin.
Oh, come on. You've managed so far. How hard can it be for me?
Sure, fine.
Before we get started, I've noticed Parker takes twice as long to finish these prototypes than he should. I have some ideas.
Give me a minute.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I can handle this myself.
Okay.
Sit back and watch the master at work.
Darum ging es ja nicht. Manchmal versteht Toni einfach Sachen nicht. So, wir bekommen entweder den Creed Repulsor. Wähle einen Helden, erhält Blocken in Höhe der Hälfte seiner maximalen Gesundheit. Oder den Habanero-Pfeil, wendet zweimal verwundbar an. Ich mag den Habanero-Pfeil.
What? You looking for a round two? I don't want to butt heads, but to quote a frenemy, I can do this all day.
Tony, I don't want to fight you. You were my hero growing up.
Kids do love Iron Man.
Not Iron Man. You, Tony. The man who could fix any problem with technology.
What do you want, Robbie?
10 years ago, you bought the Salazar steel plant, then shut it down. Do you remember what you said at the press conference? When you announced the Stark Technology Center?
Something witty?
You said, I'm here to make progress. If you aren't, you should get out of my way. Tony, you put half the families in my neighborhood out of work. And for what? You never even broke ground on that technology center.
I don't even remember this.
3 years later, most of the families who you put out of work had moved away. Follow the jobs, you know? The rest of us weren't so lucky. That's when things got real bad. But those families had it right. You need to know when it's time to move on. So good luck with shop class. I hope it's all the progress you want it to be.
You too, Parker?
Yeah, Tony. If I could manage it, how hard can it be for you?
Damn it.
Tja, verkackt. Und wir bekommen Wut. Bewährt Hunterkarten auf der Hand. Kritisch. Für 2 Züge lang sind alle Hunterkarten kritisch, wenn sie gezogen werden. Nette Karte, werden wir aber nicht benutzen.
What just happened?
I guess you are in charge now.
I didn't want this.
That is not what I saw.
I can fix this.
Maybe, but not tonight.
Begin.
Shop class is supposed to meet tonight.
So just the two of us?
Actually, when I asked Parker, he mentioned you stopped by. Said he could convince Robbie if I could get you to show.
I'm sure everyone has something to say.
Maybe. But I already said too much. I have to fix this.
We should not keep them waiting.
Time to face the music.
So, what did you want?
A do-over? And to, To apologize for the last time.
It's a nice sentiment, but a do-over doesn't have much appeal for either of us.
Yeah, I don't understand why we should keep giving you chances.
You shouldn't. Not if you don't want to. But hear me out, okay? I've been the person in charge for years. When I'm stressed, I can steamroll people who never expected it, and certainly don't deserve it.
That's what assholes say. To justify their behavior so they can keep being assholes.
Half of the Avengers agree with you. Look, nothing I did was justified. I was a jerk. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look, when you take away all the trappings of ungodly wealth, I'm just a guy who likes to make things. None of my friends were into this stuff. I was the only kid who saw beauty in exhaust manifolds, who spent hours poring over the guts of a microprocessor. That's all I want here, to make things with friends. As long as that's still an option.
That's the whole idea behind this? Okay, here's how we make this work. Tony Stark, CEO, is banned from shop class.
But making things, Tony? The guy we're talking to right now? He can stay.
That's more than fair.
No.
Well, that was less painful than expected. Thanks for coming, Hunter. We all needed to, clear the air.
Took Tony long enough to figure out shop class, huh? I thought his suit had the thicker skull.
I did not think Tony was capable of an apology.
Oh, if he wasn't, I figured the Avengers would have kicked him out years ago. I'll let you get to it. Parker can't wait to dive in.
Glad that's over with. Feuding with Tony Stark is not an achievement I care to unlock. So, how about we make something new? Another day for retooling. We have a few more ideas in the backlog if you want to check them out. I finally have a use for the components you handed me.
Dann
So,
lass sehen.
are we good to go on this project?
I am ready.
Wäre es nicht sinnvoller, sich die Sachen zu überlegen, die man haben will, bevor man sie baut? Weil so scheinen sie ja jetzt 3 Fähigkeiten zusammengebastelt zu haben und 2 davon schmeißen wir weg. Ist doch doof. Ich will sie alle haben. Ist doch doof. Spiel, das kannst du doch nicht von mir verlangen. Also ich meine, ne, wir können sie auch, die anderen können wir auch craften. Kurz gucken. Opfern haben wir sogar schon Plus. Okay, Luftüberlegenheit haben wir nicht Plus. Netzwurf haben wir nicht Plus. Dann nehme ich die Luftüberlegenheit und den Netzwurf. Machen wir uns dann selber irgendwie. Oh, und noch eine Geduld. Sehr gut. Ich weiß gerade nicht, ob wir die schon verbessert im Deck haben. Ich glaube fast nicht.
Parker's creative drive is amazing. Seeing how he tackles a problem gives me ideas of my own. And Robbie has the right intuition when it comes to putting these prototypes together. I thought he was being overcautious, but that's a crafter's care. Wish I'd seen it earlier.
Look, I don't want to brag, but I think this is our best work.
Nur 3 epische.
Yeah, I know, blah blah, teamwork, blah blah blah, but still, it's impressive what we can do when we all work together.
Mhm.
I think that was our best work. Everyone did their part. I'm ready to call it a night. How about you?
Give me a minute.
Ach Gott.
You got it. You know, I might stay for a bit more. I want to finish an adjustment to the Hell Ride. Is that it for today?
I am ready to go.
Robbie.
Sure.
About Salazar Steel. I couldn't remember any details about the Stark Technology Center, so I did some digging. 10 years ago, Oscorp and Stark Industries were in a good old-fashioned business war. Salazar Steel was a promising acquisition. When we realized Oscorp was angling in, we bought the plant from Mr. Salazar. What we didn't realize was how much of his finances were a mess. He poured his profits back into the plant. It was the only thing keeping the lights on. With the Oscorp thing, well, our stock couldn't afford to take the hit. We had to shut the plant down.
Then, What was the technology center?
A complete fiction. The only problem I saw from the boardroom was a dip in our stock from closing the plant. So I did the classic billionaire's trick of pitching a ridiculous idea that would take years to get off the ground. The stock rose, people celebrated my genius vision, and that was the last I thought of Salazar Steel. But I should have followed up. Ensured the people who lost their jobs found new ones. Robbie, I'm not the man I was 10 years ago. I'm glad you met me, and not him.
This doesn't make you look good.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I meant, you aren't trying to spin this. I respect that you shared this, warts and all.
Oh yeah, of course. You deserve to know what happened.
So, I'm going to tinker with the Hell Ride. You wanna give me a hand?
Yeah, sure. Tell me where you need me.
No. Hat er doch noch seinen Helden getroffen.
Book club tonight. You in?
Meet you there.
After you.
Noch ein neuer Gast.
Yeah?
Welcome to book club.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't realize Steve knew the author. I really should have read this when he first asked.
Whenever I read this book, I can still hear the General's voice in my head.
If you haven't already, you should welcome Logan.
Haben wir schon.
Ready to kick this off?
Let's go.
I am ready.
Before we start, I want to welcome Logan to the book club. What did you think of the book?
I didn't read it.
Okay then, guess I'll start. Steve, I really enjoyed this book.
What stood out to you?
I know people have different approaches to leading others, but I never considered what drives them to do so. Take Custer. He led from the front and was mostly loved by his troops, but his drive for personal glory affected every choice he made. Eventually, Custer picked a fight he couldn't handle. His recklessness led to the death of himself and every soldier he commanded.
His mistake was making decisions to elevate his own standing instead of his troops.
Makes sense. The better they do, the more he gets credit for leading them to victory. I think the biggest lesson, beyond don't be Custer, is that an outsized ego is a double-edged sword for a leader.
Also, you can't just get through life with a pretty face.
I thought you didn't read the book.
I didn't, but I picked things up from context.
I learned more about George Washington from this book than anything I was taught in school.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
Before this, I associated him with statues, paintings, and the dustiest parts of American history. But here we see a military leader whose personal ambition was the victory of his army. He was clear-eyed about his goals and knew how to get out of his own way. Washington led from the top, though he kept counsel with various advisors. Once he made a decision, he expected his subordinates to follow his orders.
For less capable people, that sounds far too rigid a way to lead.
Yeah, I find it's best to leave some wiggle room. Give your people objectives and the resources to achieve them. More than anyone else in the book, Washington believed true leadership is a contract bestowed upon you by those whom you lead.
And that's where the book gets its title?
Right. The mantle of authority. It's something that augments you.
Which brings us to our final profile.
We really don't have to do this one. And now I'm interested.
Steve, how long have you bugged me to read this?
Not because of the chapter on me. You all know General Phillips selected me for the Super Soldier program. For a time, he commanded me in the field, and that's why my profile is in the book. He was kind to say I led by example. Maybe that's how it used to be. But the Avengers isn't a military organization. If I gave Tony an order, he'd laugh in my face. To get anything done, I need the group's consensus. I can't give pretty speeches about the need to sacrifice. I have to show that putting in the effort today will make a better tomorrow.
It cannot be as simple as you make it sound.
Oh, it never is. It's a constant struggle, and you won't always see eye to eye. Still, I find it's absolutely worth the effort. Leadership you can gain, but trust, that you have to earn. But I find little enjoyment in talking about myself, so yeah, let's end it here.
All right, we'll call it here. Next month is Hunter. Do you have any books to suggest?
None from the past few centuries.
Then Logan could pick the next one.
Sure. The Adventures of Crash Morgan number 5, The Last Queen of Deimos.
What is that exactly?
It's about a space explorer with a ray gun, a jetpack, and a fishbowl helmet. Travels through space with a robot dog. They get in wacky adventures.
That's a classic. A buddy of mine had that in basic.
I'm always up for space nonsense.
I'm not, but that's the book. I'll give it a shot.
Jo. Bin gespannt, was das für ein Buch ist.
What did you think?
Well, the punch is decent, but there should have been a bigger spread.
Well, I meant, what did you think about book club?
I just told you. Thumbs up for punch, thumbs down for snacks.
Die wichtigen Sachen im Leben.
I'm actually surprised Steve recommended this book.
Why?
Steve can take a compliment, but he's uncomfortable with praise, especially from someone he respects.
I'm not sure why Logan joined book club if he's not going to read the books.
You are not required to do so.
Come on, it's the principle.
Ich glaube, ihm geht es einfach nur darum, dazu zu gehören.
Well, at least Logan showed up.
You did not think he would.
I wasn't sure he'd be into book club, and I don't know what to expect from that book of his.
The name alone has me intrigued.
Maybe you're right. I should learn to roll with the unexpected.
You welcomed a resurrected demon slayer into your life. Now we read books together.
Can't argue with that. When you first joined, I wanted you to keep an open mind about book club. I owe Logan the same courtesy you showed me.
Good call.
You leaving?
Jo.
Yeah, I am done.
Righteous.
Beste Abwehr. Captain America erhält Blocken in Höhe des verursachten Schadens für 2 Züge. Sehr nützlich. Und Brooklyn Handshake haben wir schon. Das war hier nochmal die Verbesserung. Ah, er zählt auch direkt 2 Karten. Ja, dann nehmen wir die beste Abwehr. Und schützenden Angriff für uns. Und ein Book Club Outfit für Logan. Spaß haben wir mal gucken. Ne, schade. Das wird erst nach der Nacht aktualisiert. Ja, wir brauchen keine Arcanis-Wissen mehr. Aber die Essenzen nehme ich mit.
Coming to book club tonight?
Let's go.
Meet you there.
I'll walk you.
Das ist aber nett. Das ist auch der letzte Buchclub.
I thought Logan might bail. But I told him we bring more snacks this time. I have him figured out.
Ja, das überrascht mich nicht.
Why have I not heard of Crash Morgan? I know it's an older book, but this is exactly the kind of story I like.
Yeah, my plan backfired. Thought choosing a weird book would drive people away.
Why would you do that?
More punch for the rest of us.
Mehr Snacks.
Can we start?
I am ready.
All right, Logan, I need to know. Why did you choose this book?
I'll tell you, just not yet. I want to hear what you thought of this book.
It was written in the 1940s, so I expected some repugnant attitudes and phrases. But it surprised me. The writing was simple, yet the story was deeper than it had any right to be.
What was your favorite part?
It's in the chapter where Crash and the princess escape the Zorgots. The next morning, they see the sun rise and Mars rising beside it. When the princess asks what the future holds and Crash just stares at Mars as it eclipses the sun, it gave me chills.
Is it just me, or do the stellar bodies represent their time together?
Absolutely. The time they have together is fleeting. I think this is where Crash first realizes there's no future for the two of them. Anyway, I think the moment gets lost when the Zorgots deploy their Null Stalkers.
I don't get why the robot dog didn't warn them. I thought it could talk.
Not until number 19, the minefields of the reticulates. It's a whole thing.
Got it. So, what's the idea with Crash's promise?
What about it?
When Crash apprehends Glaxogorp, they have a tense conversation in the back of the flypod. Crash says there's a way the Zorgots can leave the moon with everything they want, but the princess must take the throne. Then Crash vows that no queen of royal blood shall ever rule Deimos. Glaxogorp agrees, but why? Crash breaks the vow in the next chapter.
Glaxocorp agrees because all Zorgots know Crash never lies.
Isn't that the point? Crash cares so deeply for the princess that even a vow can be broken. And how does that tie into the hydro gunfight at the top of the space scraper?
Really? You don't see it?
I do.
They're shapeshifters.
Who?
Crash and Glaxogorp.
No.
Yep.
But then, when do they...
The hydro gunfight. Crash gets hit in the helmet and goes down. And what happens whenever Crash is unconscious?
The helmet changes color. Turns bronze like the suit.
Right. Then Glaxogorp pulls up on the rocket sled and takes Crash and the princess into custody. That's when they make the switch. Crash and Glaxogorp change form, but where do they stash the princess?
Ja, wo wohl?
It is obvious. They put her in Crash's suit.
Exactly. Crash won't need it to survive because they're within the bubble city. So we get to the Deimos Council meeting. The princess refuses the throne and declares her love for Crash, who is the princess in Crash's suit. When they embrace, the false princess deactivates the Magna Manacles binding Crash. But Crash nabs the Star Scepter from the fake princess, activates the suit's zoom vest, and smashes through the monoculus.
So, if that's the actual princess, she escapes. But who is the false princess?
That's a shape-shifted Glaxogorp. Without the Star Scepter, Deimos can't crown their queen.
Right. She never wanted it, and the Zorgots definitely don't want it. Glaxogorp, posing as the princess, can steer Deimos away from war.
And when the fake Glaxogorp vows the Star Scepter shall be restored to the princess, that's actually Crash.
So Crash made 2 vows and broke neither of them. The cliffhanger with Glaxogorp chasing Crash's ship is actually Crash returning to the princess so they can escape Deimos.
You got it. They reveal the switcheroo at the beginning of number 6, Attack of the Intergalactic Space Weasels.
Clever. I like it more now. And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Ja, dieses Buch war sehr irritierend.
So,
Ich
Logan,
frage mich, ob es das
why did you
wirklich
pick
gibt.
this book?
Because it's fun. My book was the best of them.
You have only been to 2 meetings.
Yeah, but you know I'm right.
Würde ich jetzt auch nicht sagen.
I almost wish this book was a comic instead. I would have liked to see the monoculus.
You did not mention a book for next time.
Yeah, with everything going on, I'm gonna put book club on a hiatus until things are less apocalyptic.
Makes sense.
You calling it?
Yeah, I am done.
Hab mich gerade gewundert, warum die erste Option ausgegraut war, aber hey. So, ein Klauenstich und eine rasante Heilung. Die haben wir eh verbessert schon im Deck. Und ich habe es schon mal irgendwann erwähnt. Ich mag dieses Ziel hat blocken, dann das und das. Ziel hat volle Gesundheit, dann in den meisten Fällen mehr Schaden oder Ziel wurde schon mal beschädigt oder auch Ziel hat nicht volle HP. Finde ich okay, Ziel hat blocken, kommt mir persönlich zu selten vor. Und das gibt mehr Essenzen, also gut, Zorn ist, ne, besser Zorn. Gut, dann haben wir den Buchclub abgeschlossen.
How's Ileana doing? She fitting in?
Why do you ask?
She had a hard time making friends at Xavier's school. Outside of class, she mostly stayed in her room. Doesn't seem that way here.
The Midnight Suns have been good for her. She has really come into her own.
Good. Thought as much. Always thought Xavier's wasn't the best place for her. Going from the Queen of Hell to the new kid in school wasn't easy.
Queen of Limbo.
Yeah, whatever. Smells like the devil's prostate. It's hell enough for me.
Sehr schöne Beschreibung. Ja, ne, für den auf jeden Fall die kanadische Rootbeer-Kollektion.
Did Charles tell you I like these?
Ne, wir haben noch Charles nicht kennengelernt.
About to make a protein shake if anybody wants one. Thanks for welcoming me into the fold, Hunter. Most people see the monster and run for the hills. Few people take the time to get to know the man underneath.
No problem, Eddie. I've been meaning to ask, where did you come up with the name Venom?
It sounds dangerous, and I like that. But I can't take the credit. Yeah, my symbiote came up with the name.
Did your symbiote also design your awesome suit?
My symbiote is the suit, so yeah, I guess? That's kind of like asking, did you design your face?
But you could look like anything. You could be the plaid spider or fight crime in a purple tuxedo.
Do not give my other any ideas.
It must be nice to have someone to talk to when you are alone.
Yeah, but it's also distracting having someone chew your ear off while you're getting punched in the face.
If you need some quiet time, would earplugs help?
My other is attached to the ganglia of my parietal lobe. I would need brain plugs.
I bet Tony could make some.
Oh, so you want me to ask the guy who's making the high-end weapons tech we need to defeat Lilith to take a break and make brain plugs?
Good point.
I mean, it's a cool idea. Yeah, I'll ask him when this is over.
Nee, aber nicht. Das Inserman. Das könnte helfen.
Do you have another?
Sehr gut.
I don't want to lose this.
Ja, zumindest keine schlechte Konversation gehabt.
You have called yourself a leader many times.
I've been in the position where I needed to make decisions for a team.
I'm sure you have made many tough calls.
I do what I can with the information I have. The same could be said of you.
You are right. Knowing what the right thing to do is tricky.
I always go with my gut.
Has it ever been wrong?
Oh, yes. But it's not the end of the world. Maybe in the case of your mother it is, but special circumstances.
Have you ever made a mistake?
Who hasn't? Nobody is perfect. I've made my fair share of mistakes, and have done my best to learn from them. Does it always work? No. I am curious to hear how you handle failure.
Oder ist das mehr so ein Thema von, wir lernen aus unseren Fehlern?
I never fail twice.
Never say never, Hunter. That kind of mentality can backfire on you.
Confidence is not a bad thing.
Never said it was. Just don't confuse it with cockiness. Give yourself some credit, Hunter. You're doing just fine.
Okay, da ist was mit X-Men, das ist vielleicht nicht verkehrt. Das ist Iron Man, Marvel, New Mutants. Race. Also zumindest bei den legendären scheint nichts dabei zu sein, was... Also ist nichts dabei, wo ich sagen würde, das passt für Dingens. Für Storm. Perfekte Untermalung für stille Meditation, das ist doch...
I had a fantastic time. Well done.
It's good to have you around, Hunter. You don't treat me like some of the others.
How so?
America didn't exist in your time. With you, I get to be Steve from Brooklyn. Just a guy with a shield.
We are all in this fight together. Why would we not treat each other as equals?
And I appreciate it. I hope you know that. You have your own legend to deal with. That expectation must give you some trouble.
It can be hard to live up to what everyone thinks I am.
Then don't. Live up to your ideals. Everything else will fall into place. Like it or not, your words and actions carry a lot of weight. Don't lose sight of that.
Thanks. I will keep that in mind.
Sorry. Didn't mean to lecture. Let's get back to it.
Nichts für ihn. Oh,
let's do it again.
My childhood was terrible, Hunter. Tell me something good about yours.
Well, I enjoyed exploring the grounds around the Abbey, chasing animals, and getting into sword fights with small trees.
Sometimes I wish I could go back in time. I may have been a sickly child, but life seemed simpler.
I guarantee those memories are better than the actual experience. That is what makes memories worth treasuring.
I suppose you're right. Maybe someday I will look back on this period with longing.
Naturally. This is when you met me.
I don't think even my memories of you can compete with the real thing.
Doctor, do you ever think about having kids yourself?
Intriguing. I don't even know if I'm capable of such a thing anymore. But if I was, I would want to ensure that my spawn were not afflicted with my condition. What about you?
Nicht in der Übersetzung.
Wer hat was gesagt?
I want every child to have a safe place to live and thrive. I would not want my children to share the experience I've had with my mother.
I don't think you would be anything like your mother.
Maybe, but Lilith was once a great mother.
I think you could be too.
Thank you, Doctor.
This is...
Falsche Aktivität, der Rest war okay.
Something on your mind?
How do you lead people?
Inspiring words, an elevated position, and good sightlines on the shield.
Well, not you specifically. In general, how does a leader lead?
That's an easy question with a complex answer. Tell me this, what type of leader would you follow?
Before I follow anyone, I need to trust them.
Sometimes a leader has to step up amidst a chaotic situation. They may not have time to gain your trust.
No, but when leaders do, it inspires me to do more, to do better.
It's good that you're thinking about this, now that you're actually in charge.
So what does Captain America think I should do?
I found there's no right way to lead, but a heck of a lot of wrong ones.
But there must be ways to rise to the challenge.
The best advice I ever received was, you don't need to be the perfect leader, but you do need to lead.
And how have you led over the years?
I always did what I thought was right. No more, no less.
The right way is often the difficult path. It must have been hard to walk it alone.
It's never easy, but I have faith in my training. I learn from my mistakes and trust the people I'm privileged to lead.
Nehmen wir das wieder.
Can't wait till next time.
Aber das war ein perfektes Abhängen. So, wir hängen mit Tony ab. Faulenzen am Pool oder etwas trinken? Ich glaube, etwas trinken ist am ehesten das, was... Also, es glaube ich, Faulenzen am Pool mag er. Wobei Videospiele könnten ihm auch gefallen, aber ich glaube, etwas trinken ist so das Beste, was wir auswählen können. Hoffe ich zumindest, weil das ist unsere Nebenmission.
Damn it, Hunter. I hate this.
We can do something else if you want.
No, the whole situation. Chasing magic pages from an evil book, facing your creepy demon mom, hiding in the Abbey while the world falls apart.
Do not worry about what you cannot control. We will figure it out.
I am beyond well-meaning platitudes, boss. This is not a problem I can solve. This gamma nonsense that's going on, it's rewriting the laws of physics. Or it's a byproduct. I don't know. How am I supposed to contribute when I don't know how reality works on any given day? Did we lose entropy? How about friction? What's next? Do light waves gain mass?
Yes. Everything we know is in terrible danger. There is no easy answer or easy fix.
Then what the hell is there?
A handful of people who have a chance to make a difference. As long as they do not give up.
Okay. Worst pep talk I've had in years, by the way. But your point stands.
Das ist das Wichtige daran. So. Tales of Suspense. Iron Mans explosiver erster Auftritt von Stan Lee und Jack Kirby. Muss ich mehr sagen.
It's not easy to shop for me.
Okay, es war die beschissenste Aktion, die ich hätte auswählen können. Aktivität. Gut, dann vielleicht doch Faulenzen am Pool beim nächsten Mal. Dammit. Na gut.
You're an only child, aren't you?
Yes.
I guess you'd have to be. Caretaker used to tell us about Lilith's child, not Lilith's firstborn.
One child of Lilith is enough.
Oh, come on. A couple sisters, a few brothers, and you were first, so you wouldn't have to deal with hand-me-downs.
The collar I wear protects the rest of you from what I could become. Can you imagine if I had siblings who carried the same darkness within?
Wow. When you put it like that, it always strikes me how our families define so much about us. I wouldn't be who I am without my little brother. With my parents gone, I had to grow up fast, pay the bills, keep my grades up, and provide for Gabe, no matter what.
It must be difficult to be apart. You can go if you need to. We will not think less of you.
No, it's fine. He's staying with a family friend.
You keep in touch with him, don't you?
Yeah, I try to call him every day. He's healthy, happy, and safe. It's not easy to find that balance, but you have to do it. Without family, you lose a part of yourself.
Ja, die Dingens haben. Die Midnight Suns. So, was nehmen wir denn? Das wäre was für ihn. Aber... Ja, wobei... Ich habe auf jeden Fall noch die Kerze mit Dingens irgendwo. Nicht Nacht zum Morgen. Hier Lido Marconi. Nee, Quatsch. Hier Sportwagen Interieur. Aber ich denke mal, wir nehmen das legendäre Geschenk, weil wir brauchen die Freundschaftspunkte. Wo haben wir es? Da.
Oh, I can't wait to put this to use.
Fast perfekt. Ein Punkt haben wir verpasst im ersten Dialog.
It was hard enough getting used to the Midnight Suns. Now we have doubled in size.
You are one of the Midnight Suns.
Now, yes, but not at the beginning. I was the strange woman who spoke to no one. It must be worse for you, Hunter. All the faces are new, except for Caretaker.
Hm. Na, das gefällt dir bestimmt.
Sometimes it feels like I am blundering through all this.
Well, you're doing something right amidst your blundering. You made at least one friend. I will tell you a secret. Do not laugh. I have a tiny envy for how you make friends so quickly.
How so?
It comes so easy to you. Even when you are a bat, you are a likable bat.
I am glad to hear that, Ileana.
Of course, you have bitchin' swords. That is automatic likable for me. I meant with the others. Whatever you're doing, keep doing. Don't waste the time hiding in your room.
Also, so wie so manche andere, die sich einfach mal gefühlt für 10 Missionen in der Dingens eingeschlossen hatten. Ja. Die mögen immer alle, was mit ihnen zu tun hat. Also nicht nur, was wir mit ihnen verbinden können, so rein vom Charakter, sondern alle Comic-Ausgaben, die irgendwie mit ihrem Charakter zusammenhängen, sind ein Instant Win. Oh Gott, was mag er denn? Ich denke mal das nicht, weil das... Ja, wobei, das könnte halt echt gut sein, weil Venom ja also Venom ist ja ein Alien. Probieren wir's.
And so I said, "Get your hand off that lady's purse or I'll eat your spleen."
That is one way to take care of a situation. What happened next?
Well, I went home hungry that night.
I hate battling on an empty stomach.
Oh yeah, these days I always have a snack before going on patrol.
Is it hard to have a symbiote constantly affecting your emotions?
Actually, my symbiote often keeps me grounded. Its emotions certainly influence mine, but it never makes me do anything I don't want.
So the symbiote is not forcing you to eat people's spleens?
I'll try anything once, as long as it's not an olive. Seriously, I hate olives.
Das kann ich nachvollziehen, da bin ich kein Freund von. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was dir gefallen könnte. Menschliche Anatomie. Damit er die Milz besser findet. Nee.
Did you mean to give this to someone else?
Super Geschenk, aber beschissene Aktivität. Aber es sollte reichen. Schön. Und hi, Charlie.
Thanks for this.
Ich glaube, das gefiel dir, oder? Na komm, nehmen wir das mal. Es dürfte zumindest das mittlere sein.
Hunter, do you know what claustrophobia is?
Does that have to do with the magical man who gives children gifts?
No, that's Santa Claus. I'm talking about a phobia. It's a fear attached to a specific thing. Are you scared of anything?
Anything with 8 legs disturbs me greatly.
Spiders are a big fear among many.
Although I am not afraid of Peter, though. He is a man.
Agreed. Peter is a good man. Something rare to find nowadays. But being scared is different than having a phobia.
Then what is this phobia of yours?
It's a fear of small, enclosed spaces. Phobias come from trauma, and if we're put in the position where our phobia is present, it's hard to function.
That sounds awful.
It was. Thankfully, I've been able to overcome it. It took many years of work and failure, but I did it.
I cannot imagine the fortitude it took to overcome such a hardship.
I was put in the position where it was my fear or the safety of my team. Sometimes being under extreme pressure works.
Even still, it is a feat you should be proud of.
I appreciate the sentiment. I just thought you should be aware of my past phobia.
Thank you for telling me.
Just know that it won't impact the team.
Das ist wichtig. Es hat was mit den X-Men zu tun, also komm. Okay. Aber es war die beste Aktivität zumindest. Beste Aktivität, mittleres Geschenk. Kann ich sehr gut mitleben.
You need to go easier on Sarah, kid.
What brought that up?
I've seen how you are together. You're always circling each other, waiting for the other one to pounce.
I do not want to fight her, but she does not give me a choice in the matter.
Well, yeah, you ran into her the day after you died. For her, you were gone for centuries. I don't think you understand how much your death affected her, and neither of you get how much your resurrection brought it all back. When you run into someone you thought was gone for years, learning otherwise can produce some intense feelings.
Where is this coming from, Logan? This is not entirely about Sarah.
I've lived way too long. For nearly a century, Victor Creed, Sabretooth, has been a bitter enemy. But I've lost count of the times we've fought side by side. I'm not asking you to forget your history, but it doesn't always need to be a fight to the death.
Nee, Quatsch. Was?
Now, isn't that something special?
Bitteschön.
I'm glad you're fitting in. We've heard so many stories about you that we didn't really know what to expect.
What did you hear?
That you were a godlike hero walking the earth, single-handedly holding back the forces of evil.
That is only part of the story. Caretaker forged me into a weapon. Agatha, she kept me grounded.
Same with us. Caretaker has always focused on the task at hand. Agatha reminded her we aren't pieces on a chessboard. I'm surprised you and Caretaker keep butting heads. She always spoke of you so fondly.
This is how it always used to be. If you are saying it was different, I was not around for it.
I guess everybody loves you when you're dead. Now that you aren't. The Midnight Suns have all dealt with Caretaker when she's prickly. If you ever need a vent, we get it.
Thanks, Nico.
Of course, what are friends for?
Das ist berechtigt. So, du magst doch bestimmt die Runaways.
And I thought you'd have problems fitting in.
So, und wir kriegen sogar ein neues Abtei-Outfit. Und zwar ein legendäres. Krass. Eine Beobachtung gefällt ihm immer.
I've been here for such a short time, and I feel like this is a better education than I'm receiving at Empire State.
You attend school?
Yeah, grad school. But I meant all the superhero stuff. Before this, I've had to figure out everything on my own. Here, I have access to 2 whole superhero teams, each with their own way of doing things. It's eye-opening.
You are teaching all of us a few new tricks.
And some better smack talk. But that's no superpower. It's mostly queens. So what's your preference? I heard you spent much of your life working solo. Is the team cramping your style?
I learned to fight alongside a team before my death.
Really? Were they butt-kicking Puritans?
More like a precursor to the Midnight Suns.
You're not kidding. You fought with action pilgrims.
I would rather have a team beside me than Lilin surrounding me.
Is that your catchphrase? Or did it belong to Goody Hatbuckle?
You are really fixating on this.
I'm just mad there was never a movie about the Mayflower Avengers.
Ja, das kann ich verstehen. So, bei dir weiß ich Fotografie für Fortgeschrittene.
I can't wait till we do this again.
Ach, nee. Das war, glaube ich, warum auch immer was für Steven. Steve, meine ich. Ups. Das war nicht gut. Das hätte ich besser hinkriegen können. Komm, das geht höher, Hunter.
Been meaning to ask, when you woke up and saw a half-vampire in the Abbey, well, was your first thought about killing me?
You had not proven yourself an enemy, so I did not treat you as such.
As long as you think fast, there's a fine line between choosing your target and hesitating. If I become a threat to the rest of you or to the people out in the world, what I'm asking is, if I lost control, would you stop me? Could you do what needs doing?
If you are ever a threat to yourself and others, I will treat you like any other vampire.
Good. I don't know how Lilith does her thing, but I refuse to become one of her fallen. If there's ever a question, I want you to know my answer.
I understand.
All right then.
Aber wir könnten dich doch, also zumindest von den Gefallenen können wir dich zurückholen, das ist kein Problem. So, wir hatten irgendwo was mit Dracula, nee, Runaway Star, Tomb of Dracula, der erste Auftritt von Blade.
It's not my birthday, is
Nicht
it?
die perfekte, aber schon okay. Ich weiß nicht mehr, ich glaube, es war die Aktion, die er mochte.
If you die again, could we bring you back again?
I have no idea.
Strange went on about nigh inconceivable power, and the rarest of curios were expended in your first resurrection. Assuming we had all that, would it work?
It might. Sounds like you have a plan.
Are you kidding? I have 5 plans. If you're the key to all this, keeping you breathing is the only thing that matters. I don't expect it to happen, but I'd rather prepare for it when it does.
Smart.
You mean genius, and yes, I am.
Das war kurz. Nee, das ist Gap. Tales of Suspense. Oh,
Nice.
scheiße.
I can break it down.
Also die komplett falsche Aktion. Hm.
Did Sarah ever tell you how we first met?
Let me guess. A friendly conversation in a library.
Eventually. But first, we faced each other in the Abbey grounds, prepared to do battle.
I cannot see the two of you as anything but old friends.
Our relationship is typically warm and collegial, except for that day when it was cold and martial. You see, I'd stumbled upon the Abbey despite its many wards. The stink of the Darkhold drew me to your resting place. As I attempted to locate that vile tome, Sarah nearly took my head off with magic as old as the world. She thought me a sorcerous scavenger come to exhume you.
Her opening strikes are rarely evaded. I'm glad her first salvo missed.
As am I. You are both wonderful company. I would hate to have missed out on it on account of death.
So how did your face-off end?
Agatha arrived, asked why we were standing with arms outstretched like fashionable zombies, and invited me in for tea.
This I can imagine.
One arched eyebrow ended a sorcerer's duel. For all my mystical mettle, Agatha was at times the strongest of us all.
Mhm. Agatha hat halt schon ziemlich viel drauf. So, haben wir was für dich? Captain Marvel, Fotografie, New Mutants, nee. Zumindest nichts von den legendären scheinbar. Ich weiß nicht, für wen die Snackbox hier mit den widerlichen... Das könnte halt Robbie sein, aber ich weiß es nicht. Und das Madripoor in Bildern. Das weiß ich halt auch nicht, für wen das ist. Skizzenbuch. Na komm, nehmen wir das. Da wissen wir, dass es ihm sehr gut gefällt. So, mit die haben wir auch nur bescheidene Auswahl gerade.
The other day, I accidentally bumped into Blade, and he looked at me like I'd farted.
I would not take offense.
Yeah, I know that's his default expression, but Blade and I have gone toe-to-toe enough that I know when he's really upset, and when he's at his base level of grump.
You have also fought Spider-Man. Who is tougher?
I am.
Ja, weiß ich nicht.
Sure, but if we all got into a fight, we all know I would end up on top.
You are formidable. I start to cramp after more than a few hours inside a coffin. You stepped out of one after 3 centuries and jumped straight into a war. I'd like to see Blade do that.
Do we need to draw a line down the middle of the Abbey so you each have half?
Not a bad idea. Just make sure I have the half with the restroom. All right, look, this place is full of frenemies. You can't expect us not to bump heads from time to time, but we all share the same goal.
Yes, our mission is too important. We cannot lose focus over petty squabbles.
I agree completely.
Na, wenigstens
Also,
etwas.
I want to say, I didn't do it.
Natürlich
You did not
nicht.
do what?
Whatever Blade accuses me of next, I want to get that out early.
Well. So, für dich haben wir... das können wir nehmen. So. Dann würde ich sagen, gute Nacht.
You seem calmer than usual.
That happens when you cast aside petty hatreds.
You were Blade. You were the guy who hates vampires.
Oh, I still hate vampires. But destroying them is more of a vocation than a reckless drive slowly consuming everything I once held dear.
Are you okay?
All right, I've been talking to Carol about how deep-seated hatred can grind you down. I've read Nietzsche, I get it. But she made a good point. In her time with the Kree, some of her colleagues hated entire species. It made them predictable, dulled their edge.
You were hardly predictable. You killed so many vampires you lost track of the number.
I had a black and white view of the world. And no, it wasn't the shades. All I'm saying is I'm trying to separate who they are from what they do. I don't know if I can, but I need to try.
Sure, but I still hate Lilith.
Does hating her define you? Who are you gonna be when she's gone?
I have wanted to answer that question my whole life.
That's a good start. How about that? Earth's mightiest hero got me thinking about the future.
A future with her?
No. Maybe.
Ja, jeder verdient ein bisschen Glück, oder wie war das? So, haben wir was für Blade? Ich glaube fast nicht. Kerze Knochen funktioniert bei ihm auf jeden Fall gut. Das Sportwageninterieur gefällt ihm auch.
Didn't expect to have.
Das reicht auch definitiv an Punkten. Eine letzte Runde abhängen. Na, wenigstens mal einer, der nicht schwebt.
You really aren't what I expected.
How so?
Agatha and Caretaker told so many stories. The idea of you was nearly beyond imagining, but the actual you, rather normal.
Everyone tells me that. I think they oversold the memory of me.
If so, it wasn't by much. It shouldn't be this easy. I always pictured a gulf between us.
The other Midnight Suns only had good things to say about you. I looked forward to meeting you.
I'm sorry it was under such negative circumstances.
The real you. I do not hold Lilith's control against you. You should not hold it against yourself either.
This is nice. It feels better than I deserve.
No. It is exactly what you deserve.
And that is...
A chance.
Ja, die verdient jeder. Bis zu einem gewissen Grad, natürlich. Und das Slopes of Wondergo, wo bist du denn? Da. Sehr schön. Das reicht.